What an incredible second day here at Futuristic Blockchain Conference located at Rebel Complex, Toronto, Canada. And right now we have the honor with Miss Tracy herself, the founder of the most prolific conference in the world. And of course, I'm talking about Futuristic Blockchain Conference. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Everything you're doing. It's amazing. And we're just seeing so many new developers, OGs, so many people just want to get into the blockchain. But conferences like yourself that you founded have made that happen.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. So really, I would love, the first thing would ask was like, share us your story. How did you, conceive this event, and how did you bring it to life for millions of people to enjoy and connect?
Oh man, so many different things. So I started, my first event was in 2014. I ran the first Bitcoin Expo in Canada. I kind of put my hand up as a volunteer and I decided to run it. And at the time it was actually the largest in the world. And through that, just kept doing event after event after event after event. And then finally in 2018, there were so many events going on in the world that I realized everyone in Canada was kind of looking at me. I was kind of known as the girl that would run them. So I figured Canada needed a national conference. Let's go. And we kind of put it together. And so, yeah, the concept of a futurist, people always ask me about the name, but basically in 2014, I would get a lot of people's speakers bios. And they would say, I'm a technologist and futurist. I'm a, developer and futurist. And that's kind of how we all kind of came together.
No, I love the name because crypto was the future 10 years ago. And it's the future 10 years from now, even higher. Of course, now we're seeing the emergence of everybody wanting to come in. And right now, this is, I feel like, the most pivotal moment right now in 2026 for builders like themselves to come to this conference. And honestly, what you have built here, it's just magical, and seeing everybody colliding. Honestly, to tell you the truth, it's my favorite conference, not being biased. Right now they're here because that is just, everybody's so warm and welcoming. And I feel like you guys brought, of course, that Canada, swag and being so welcoming over to Miami too at the Hard Rock. And that'll be happening in November. But you really have changed the perspective of not only Canada, but now coming into the United States, having, to me, I think the best conference. And it's amazing to see how the story started from just, you were that one that was like, hey, make things happen. And now look at this. It's, 3 stories? I don't even know. And everybody wants to come every year. I'm talking to them. So Tracy, how did all Futuristic Blockchain Conference all start and really got you going to, create this?
Yeah, so I went to Kenya. I started a microfinance program there where I funded women entrepreneurs. And it was across 23 villages where we taught them how to budget and save. And so we were sending microloans back to fund them. And we realized it's just enormous fees in Canada to send and that's how I fell upon something called Bitcoin. And so I was a student at the time. I was with other students. We were running all these nonprofits and all these more community projects. And that's where they introduced us to Bitcoin. So there was a house in Toronto called Bitcoin Decentral. And we called it a home for decentralized technologies. And I went there, and the founders of Ethereum started from there. So Vitalik started from there. He didn't start Vitalik. It wasn't Ethereum yet. He was still working at Bitcoin Magazine. He had a project called Dark Wallet at the time, and he was a quiet kid in the corner. And he sat there, and I was a student, and so we kind of connected, and we would sit there, and then little behold, they wanted a conference, and Ethereum launched, and I got to be part of this whole kind of really original OG crew. But it really came from, one, the social good side, which was a big part of crypto at the beginning. When I ran the first expo, a whole half-a-day segment was all about the unbanked. You don't see that anymore. That was the core of what Bitcoin was. It was a little bit of the libertarians, the freedom, but then the social good, and that's where I came in. So I came in from the social good angle. There's more than 1 billion people in the world that don't have a wallet, that are unbanked. Homeless people can't get a bank account because they don't have a home. And so how do we actually bring this to make it a level playing field for everyone? So that's kind of my origins of the story.
I'm so impressed by this story. It's like, no, because it shows like from the beginning of like the time of what is this, who's, backing it up, and how we can actually move this forward. And you guys took the initiative, solve the problems. And we already know the financial system's like 75 years or 100 years backed up. And, and I love the key point of just even worrying about like the homeless community or somebody or in another part of the world that all they need is internet, but they can have some payment to pay for something, and not just only based on cash. So you can also give back all at the same time, but have it where people don't need banking systems, but they can all they need is a phone, internet, and then boom.
Exactly.
And then they can make a payment.
Exactly. And in Kenya, it was widely spread. They have M-Pesa. They use mobile payments more than I was using at the time as a student. Everybody, no matter who you were, they were paying for everything through an app, right? And so that clicked that it was like, okay, the world has the technology to do this and the know-how. They just, there's just these third parties that are taking enormous fees, right? But it's funny because being at a conference today, you'll have a whole day of RWA and whole day, and they get really deep into all the different types. That's how it was for social good back then. It was all the different verticals under the social good category for the unbanked and Bitcoin.
I want to thank you right here because without people like yourselves to be that activist and be that rebelling and just say we're gonna make this happen, you don't know how, but you guys did. I mean, it must be incredible to just sit back, or maybe you don't have time because you're always busy thinking about
tomorrow. I will.
Maybe tomorrow. But to just see it all come alive, and what the sexiest part of it was just the convenience factor of the crypto, the fact that somebody could just have a wallet, have the internet, and have this, some people call it internet magic money, but be able to make these payments and really stop the bridging where people can't get in, or like there's that roadblock that they can't, get into crypto or don't know how it's done. You guys, especially Futuristic here, has really helped build and inspired other people to develop these, projects that can solve these problems.
Yeah.
And it all started from the story.
Exactly.
One in Kenya, and that's incredible. We're seeing even Nigeria is leading the way now in Africa too.
Absolutely.
Sui and Solana.
Absolutely.
But I just love the name, the future, because crypto is the future, DeFi is the future, and we're seeing it now more than ever. Robinhood has entered the building more than ever to help us.
And they're here today.
Oh yeah, I got to speak to them.
Robinhood's here, Simple's here, KPMG, Deloitte. We have the banks, we have MasterCard speaking, we have Visa speaking. It's a fever dream. If you thought about talking about that even if you begin at Futurist, it just wouldn't have been around. So it's super, super amazing to see these brands here today.
You're delusional and crazy until you're genius, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, what you guys developed here, from having those future conversations like, oh, one day we'll get Visa, one day. Now they have entered the building.
Yeah.
They have ready.
They're knocking on our door now.
Oh, they have built already now the bridges and the on-ramps for retail to come in. So this is going to get bigger and better every year. And just the origins of your story just shows in life, you never quit, and you believe in your dreams and your goals, and you can achieve them. And now 2026, we're looking back in here in the stage. I'm just proud of you, Tracy, and giving me the opportunity so now I can be the extension for people on Telegram or Twitter, now called X, and get these real life conversations in IRL and really make a difference and an impact. And now this gives me a purpose, not only in my life, but to leave a legacy for others, to see that all of us had to do this, and we all have to come together, because in the end, crypto is community, and you are creating community. Without this, there is no DeFi.
It has been amazing. Well, you know what? Without you guys, there would be, honestly, it's really hard for us to do what we do, and we love our media partners, and we love what you guys do, because you have bring this whole new audience out, right? And that's how you grow. Is we call it a one-to-many strategy. We don't actually try and get attendees. We try and get the centers of gravity like yourself. Now, if we can get you hooked, you're going to get all your people hooked. And so we create this more snowflake effect that kind of comes from this whole thing. And so we appreciate everything you do and all the amazing kind words and everything that comes from that. So thank you.
Tracy, I'm hooked. I'm coming. We're going to Hard Rock. We're already scheduling for next year.
Cool.
I love the weather, and I know the weather yesterday was a little bit, but I liked it. I was like, I'm enjoying the climate, and but then to see it the next day, everybody's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Day 2.
You know what? It kind of worked out. Obviously, it's very hard. It's unpredictable. 8 shows. We haven't never had it, so it happened on the 9th one. But yeah, it made everyone come inside. There's a lot of people that never saw backstage. A lot of people never saw upstairs. A lot of people not the stages. So purple stage, people had no idea what was going on. So we heard a lot of things like, I've been here for 8 years. I didn't know there were all these nooks and crannies. So you know what? There was like a positive to a lot of it, and it was a little bit hard on the team, but we made it work.
Now I was finding little like new cubbies and going like, this is like amazing. Like,
yeah.
Going. So it shows you gotta be proactive. Just walk around here in this conference. You never know who you're gonna meet.
Yeah.
And now you can meet all types of the biggest people from Visa, MasterCard, Robinhood, all at the same time.
Awesome.
So, one more question, Tracy, before because I know you're very busy. Everyone's, reaching out to you right now.
Anytime for you.
Oh, that means a lot. But what do you see the future of the space now that you've taken over 9 years to build this? what do you see will be the next maybe hurdle, or maybe your next, vision that you see that the space needs, or what you're going to be able to give them in the next 5 to 10 years building this conference?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in 10 years, that's a lot of years in Web3. I find 1 year sometimes feels forever, but yeah, I feel like right now we're getting corporate. That's this year. So as an event organizer, you see everything. The sessions being talked about. As money for sponsorship. The drama that's going on. The competitors. So you really see it all. So this year for sure is the corporate year, right? So the big banks, the big financial institutions coming in. I think 10 years we might get government in. To be honest, I think if you're thinking that far, I think it's time that the governments really start learning about how to make better systems for their government, how to use programmable money, how this is going to affect their treasury, and so that's my big picture in 10 years is that government's going to be shaped around Web3.
I agree with you 100% because we're seeing now people are building DAOs and making sure that voting systems are correct, or when it comes from billing, or how they're going to be able to pay people that are in financial plans or different sectors. And anyway, I think once the government comes in and more, it's going to be with that takeoff. And the next 8 to 10 years, I in my opinion, I feel like Bitcoin will be at 1 million plus range, and people will be like, how did I not see this coming? But then you see the guardrails getting built. Then you see the conferences, the news. Back then, they didn't even have a crypto section and channels. Now, if you go, you see that there's 3 or 4 channels per TV provider, like CNN or Wall Street. So I just love that we're get to see it all grow. And something like you have definitely have built for the future for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the governments implement it as fast as they can, or the ones they're really gonna excel. I think there's hyperinflation right now going on in the world. Incredible job loss is gonna happen because of AI. And so whoever can pivot quick enough. I think we have a big opportunity in Canada here. We're not that bigger population. We can move things pretty quickly. We got a lot of land mass, we got a lot of resources, and we got a lot of really smart people. So I'm hoping Canada stays a leader in Web3 and AI. I do think, I try and look back at what the internet days look like a lot, and I try and replicate it. And at the end of the day, there's no internet conference anymore. It's silly. Hey, I'm going to go to the internet conference. It's like, what do you mean you're going to the internet conference? What does that mean? And I do think in 10 years, we don't know what actual conference will look like in Web3. I definitely think they'll be part of all different conferences. And that's kind of what happened with the internet. Now, the internet is part, and there's apps and everything around it. So we got acquired recently. We got acquired by Emerald, who's now acquired by Apollo.
Incredible.
And so Apollo now owns the Blockchain Futures Conference. And they have a huge portfolio of hundreds and hundreds of massive shows. And so I hope the future for Futures Conference that we go into these other shows that are more Web 2 based, pop up a little Futurist, and go and teach more of the general. This is probably the biggest mass way to get to the masses is to kind of go into their shows and start expanding there. So go to them if they're not coming to us. Kind of decentralize it.
No, I love to hear your perspective, and also the story from just payment systems going over to Africa to now, you are leading, and this whole, all your volunteers, your staff are now helping us move on with what you're calling the corporate, I guess, cycle right now. And then I guess in the next 10 years, what we're going to see is like, it made sense, right? We saw how the internet bubble was so disruptive, right? And now crypto is not even what, 18, 20 years. So imagine where we're going to be in the next 10 years. And people are going to be like,
and with AI now.
Yes, now we got the AI now. So.
And the robot, it's going to go so fast. That's why I think 10 years is so far away, so close, but just like, we're just going to be totally different. I drive a Tesla. I don't know if you've driven a self-driving car. It's amazing. Like I'll never drive again. Like at this point, like I need a button, and I could just see this happening everywhere. So I think we're gonna come through some really big disruption. I think that people who are futurists at this event, like that is the core of what the kind of people we want to bring together, thinking about the future, building the future, predicting it. So yeah, so excited to have you here and all the future events.
Oh no, my head's always, clouds always in the future. I'm like, well, stay in the present, but it's because I know and I've seen it, I felt it, and to be part of it in 2015 and 16, and to see where we're at now, 10 years from this date.
Yeah.
Is exactly why I wanted to ask that question, because I wanted to see your perspective. Someone that helped us push us to this leg up now to the corporate cycle of all these businesses, corporations, huge companies are coming in now, but it all started with people coming together, like I said, community, and building these conferences like you did. And the futuristic just name is just perfect. And I think that's why people are like stand out. It was the future, it's still the future.
Yeah.
Are you gonna miss out on the future? But just thank you so much, Tracy, again, for what you've done. And just your staff is so warming,
They're the
welcoming. Shout out to the staff, Futuristic Blockchain Conference. Without you guys, would not be able to do this. Everything, I'm watching everything. Every single person, doesn't matter what department you work, what position you have, we're all coming together.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you again, Tracy.
Awesome.
I appreciate this, one-on-one interview. I've been like, when am I gonna get the interview with Tracy?
Yeah,
And,
I'm so happy.
So I'm excited.
Let's do it again.
I'm excited,
Some spaces.
and I'm ready for Hard Rock. I'm ready to do some spaces with you because I want to do the road to Futuristic at Hard Rock coming up November. So,
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you in November. Same kind of vibe. And we hope everyone come out there. If you can't afford a ticket and want to get on site, just message us. We'll find a way to get on there. I believe you should have to pay a crazy ticket price to get to a conference. Again, it's the point of leveling out the playing field. Crypto's for everybody. So we'll get you there. Just message us and not the day of.
So guys, if you guys want to be part of the future of finance, you better check out Futuristic Blockchain Conference. Let's go, baby.
Thank you.